alright. Yeah, I'm feeling alright. Alright, here we go.
Further into the universe, we see light
Kirito, thank you for the
from
follow.
distant stars, eons old, perhaps hundreds, even thousands of miles away. Hold on, can I get a zoom in on that?
You bet I can. This is one of the world's most powerful telescopes. Initiating 6 times zoom.
Can this baby do 7?
I can do
Priorities.
you one better. Maneuvering to 8 times zoom.
Pressure rising, holding steady. I can see it. Unblur.
I want to see the goop
won't
snoot.
hold.
Get me 8.5 times.
You're a madman.
Upscale it to 4K.
The helium tanks will go critical.
Opening the blinds. Hold her steady. Uncropping and increasing aspect ratio. Now,
Is that left
punch
shark?
it. Uncropping and increasing aspect ratio.
Why does that look
Now,
like
punch
little
it.
sharks?
There it is.
Oh,
Life on another world.
what?
And to think,
Are those
we owe it
cows?
all to one indie development studio. Hello Games.
Oh, it's indie. Oh. Thank you for the follow,
Let's start
Ember.
at the beginning.
Yeah, juicy alien cheeks at 4K, exactly. Will Smith.
Yeah, it's rewind time. Okay, the year is 2009. Guildford, England. There's a man named Sean Murray, and
Hi,
he's
Sean.
just founded a company called Hello Games.
Hi, hello.
Sean and the boys are working hard on a brand new IP called Joe Danger. 2010 AD. The game just came out. It's a success.
They're a small team, but they are ambitious.
Aw,
Let's
we
do
love to see
something
it.
bigger, said Sean. Let's reach for the stars.
As you should, Sean.
How about Joe Danger 2? Brilliant. It's 2012. Joe Danger 2 has just come out.
But
Drake.
that one doesn't perform as well.
We need to do something even bigger than Joe Danger 2.
Go Danger 3?
Joe Danger 3? No. Even more out of this world. Something no man has done before.
I see what you did there.
Joe Danger the mobile game?
Yes! And that came out in 2014.
Okay, I
Seriously,
didn't
guys,
expect
biggest
that.
thing you can think of.
Uh, I'm just a stock image, dude. Why don't you think of something?
Sean pondered
Biggest
for a
thing you
moment,
could think of?
then turned and looked wistfully into the mirror. Reflected back was the visage of Neil deGrasse Tyson.
If you're going to make a
Visage.
space game, first person, it's never been done before. How about that? I'm going up in orbit to repair the Hubble telescope. That's not enough. Who are you going to have sex with? How much microwaves are coursing through your body now?
The planet.
How much microwave is coursing through my body at this exact moment? I didn't realize microwaves were coursing through my body. That's an interesting development. Why? How fascinating! I have a microwave coursing through my body at this exact moment. Less than one. You think less than one microwave is coursing through my body? 350 microwave through my body right now. If you were a sword, what would you be? I don't know, man. Buster sword. Bustin'. Junk, thank you for the follow. That would explain the back pain, the microwave through my body? Probably.
Sid Murray. Space game. Procedural generation. Planet. Okay, that sounds good. Yes, we all agree. So they set to work, cobbled together a prototype, and by VGX 2013, they are ready to announce another new IP.
I love them showing
by
the footage
VGX
of them working on the game because this is when I was working on the game for the cystic fibrosis game I was telling you about. It's pretty much this exact same setting. Where's the cure for rabies? I lured you in here and there is no cure, but you'll be okay.
2013, they are ready to announce another new IP.
No Man's Sky.
Check it out.
No man sky, no man.
Oh, this is special.
Oh my god! Wow! Oh my
This
god!
is special.
Spaceships! There's no men not interested. We all know men have to raid from the sky. It's raining men, hallelujah.
It's 2014, and it's E3 hype time. No Man's Sky has promised to be a game like no other. A practically boundless experience vibrant with life and color and things to explore.
I like colors.
What's over there? You'll have to be the one to discover it. And then, wow, look at that big f***ing dinosaur, holy shit. And a moment later, we're in space, having a battle amongst a giant fleet. Claim a planet as your own. Explore the galaxy with your friends.
Okay, that's it. This is going to be the best game ever, you guys. It even won awards for its hype. And it will release in June 2016.
Oh, nothing's worse is when it gets so hyped up and then it's just like, oh, that's what we received? Oh, yo, they have dinosaurs in space? You didn't know? I had this, there was this pterodactyl named Bill that I was really good friends with. And he said, yeah, dude, we just migrated. We just left out of here. We saw that meteor coming. We were like, yeah, F that noise. And they just dipped.
The hype train was officially loading up and ready to chug out
Hype
of the
train!
station.
Choo-choo!
At every stop of the journey, there would be press junkets talking about the amazing scale of the game. Spread across 18 quintillion planets. It's so vast that by the time you finish exploring it all, I would have 2 new videos published. Sean himself was doing the interviews. Because who is better to talk about the game than the lead guy himself?
You
He
go,
went from
Sean.
interview to interview, and with each question, the answers he gave raised people's expectations of the game's scope.
Can you land on a comet?
Yeah, at the moment you can land on asteroids. You could encounter other players.
Can you grief other players?
A little bit.
They're literally building your own, like, massively multiplayer
Grief
world that's
other
randomly
players?
generated.
Sand planets like in June. Rivers. Walking sentinels.
Sandworm,
Heck,
sign me
so
up.
sophisticated that light diffracts through the atoms. They had to redevelop the whole periodic table to make it work.
What?
Even Elon Musk was hyped for it.
Elon, ugh.
2 years go by. It's early 2016, and that hype train is really moving now. Perhaps one of the biggest in video game history. Reddit was shoveling most of the gamer fuel. Skeptics and naysayers are treated as ballast and thrown from the carriage doors. Pre-orders open, and they are doing very well. The date is booked in. Some are even taking the day off work. So much hype there is that... Jason Schreier of the soon-to-be defunct Kotaku is about to spoil the party. He announces a delay. From June 2016 to August.
Oh, there's a delay.
Liar. The
Honestly, a delay is better than getting the game and it being shit. Honestly, I'll take a delay over that one at this point. What do you guys think? Do you guys agree? Would you rather a game be delayed or would you rather it just come out? And would you rather that? Why not both? You prefer delays now? Honestly, I do too, because especially if a game is going to be completely unplayable. Crazy. I would much rather have a game be delayed. Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel that. I feel that.
Against audience cries. Please be quiet, they said. And death threats too. But he was 100% right. A week later, the delay is officially announced. Ooh, sorry lads, we need more polish, said Sean in his usual accent. To that, Sean received some death threats too, by the way. Although he didn't take them as seriously or go to the police. Yet.
Death threats over... I think death threats in general are freaking stupid, right? But like, over video games in anime and fiction, like, come on, man. Like, death threats? God, so stupid.
Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
People are crazy.
The impatient crowd relaxed a bit and said, fine.
Why do they look like
we
that?
will wait. But we expect a level of polish no man has ever seen.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys, at that first glimpse, I was like, yo, what?
Speaking of waiting,
Okay, it's an ad.
Shadow Man here. Have you heard of Raidy Shady? My wife died in a plane crash. Hey, let's get serious for a moment.
Okay.
Raid isn't just a game with 15 million downloads
Death
in the
threats
last
are
6
beyond
months.
pathetic. It's so
It's a
ridiculous, dude. Like, it's a
lifestyle.
freaking game.
Think differently.
Freaking
Play
game.
Raid differently. Achieve your dreams. I'm sorry, sir. You've contracted raids. That's good. Congratulations, it's Gorgorub of the Undead Horde.
My life, Bonezu.
You've just collected one of over 400 champions.
Bro, imagine if you had a baby and your
Why,
baby came out
hello
looking
there.
like that. That would be so,
Have you heard
it's
about
so
the
crazy.
online RPG PvP? It's extremely well reviewed on the Play Store.
I mean, what the fuck?
Oh, you remind me of my wife. Raid is more than just a game. It's a reassuring pat on the back from your dad. It's a warm bowl of soup on a cold night.
I don't want soup.
It's one last dance.
Oh,
at your wife's
oatmeal.
funeral. If you haven't played in the arena yet, I'm gonna break into your house. You're all getting Raid for Christmas, kids. Yay! Are you the best dad ever? Wait, Mum's dead?
Raid Shadow Legends.
Thank you, Doc Hunter.
Ad over.
Thank you, Doc Hunter.
So let's talk about the team in charge of all that polishing. It's small.
It's
tiny.
average.
In fact, I haven't been able to find a smaller team behind a AAA release. All of these expectations
Really?
are on the shoulders of just 6 people, expanding to a team of 15 by the end of production.
Just 6. Holy frick.
July. It's just a couple of weeks until the release date. Whatever the state of the game by now, however much it's finished, that's what's going out. The Hello Games team celebrates with this iconic image.
The quintessential soy face.
They're exhausted. Look at what video game production does to a man.
God, what's wrong with
Oh,
your
so
face?
tired. Yeah, you
Nonetheless,
can see
they
it.
continue, working on the day 1 patch. And... uh-oh. Sean, if your game isn't coming out for another 2 weeks, then why is there a box copy on eBay?
Oh.
That's right. It's a leak.
What?
Someone broke the embargo and is selling early access to the highest bidder.
No.
And the bids start rolling in.
That's messed up.
It reaches $1,300 US, sold to some guy with the Reddit handle Damien. He gets his hands on it and starts uploading footage to YouTube and Dailymotion.
Oh, that's so
Said Sean
shitty.
and Sony. Damien finished it a lot quicker than expected, but he gave it a decent review.
There are things I don't like, there are things I like, but at the end of the day, when I say to myself, what is this game supposed to be? This, what I'm looking at right here, this is what the game is
Is he not
supposed
going to get
to be.
arrested for this?
He noted a few problems, but said he was optimistic that they would be ironed out with the day 1 patch. Sean? It's another leak. Some retailers broke the official release date. Journalists too.
Oh.
And they started streaming playthroughs of the game. What the fuck? Sony tried to
That's
DMCA all
so
of these videos,
insane.
but their aim was terrible.
Round of applause, everyone.
Man, I actually feel really bad for Sean. No, because I feel
We've
bad.
officially become No Man's censored by Sony.
Our news story from earlier this week about No Man's Sky leaks has been hit with a copyright strike on YouTube.
They went bumbling around from platform to platform, just taking down any video that even talked about the leak or showed the trailer footage. But it was too late. The footage had people talking more skeptically about the game. Especially because there were no early review copies.
Oh, that sucks.
And it was
That's
looking like
sad.
the weight of all these expectations had become too much. And the whole thing was about to give.
It's also a small company, so oh my
no.
god.
It's August. Everyone's here. We've all bought the game and we're fucking hyped. Here we go, lads.
Oh.
Oh, dear lord, it
How
isn't.
do they get this footage of me and him? Oh my god. Oh my god, how do they do that?
Finished.
Thank god it doesn't show me there, it just shows him. That's crazy.
Oh dear lord, it isn't finished. Hello, Sean. It is me, the auditor of games. I used to work at an astronomy lab. Don't worry about that. It seems like you've made a lot of promises. Promises that you have not kept. Let's go through the checklist. Have you got any large-scale joinable space battles?
Nobody would want that.
Ringed planets?
No. No.
Fine. Well, at least let me play as a trader.
Some may call this junk. Me, I call them...
No.
This is the guy who said he would sell his sister.
That's from June Look Nice.
From Skyrim.
Please, Sean, there must be rivers.
No, it's not.
Animals interact with each other in the environment?
No.
Packs of walking sentinels, Sean.
No.
I'm literally crying right now. Should I even ask whether I can play as a space pirate?
No pirate? No pirate? Arg.
No.
Factions with different attributes.
You picked the wrong house, fool! Oh!
Fly between star systems manually.
But nobody's actually done it
Him
yet.
glitching
If
is
I can maneuver like in the trailer, I'll still be happy.
No.
Well, day-night cycles determined by the orbit of the sun.
No.
Really?
No.
Land on an asteroid, radio chat, and name your shit. Hacking, portals, all that stuff about the elements, Sean.
No.
This is not good, Sean. This is very not good.
And ironically,
Oh,
the only bugs
plundering
this
the
game
booty.
doesn't have
No.
are the butterflies in the demo.
Buried building.
Butterflies are terrifying, but you know what's scarier than a butterfly, chat? A butterfly with a man's head. There is nothing more scarier than they add like heads to bugs. It's like, why are you doing that? Stop that. Stop that.
Buildings, aggressive emojis, tractor
Oh,
beam
women are pretty
malfunction,
scary too.
Animal husbandry, oil slick world, raining grass, retarded animals doing retarded things. Ship's interiors disappear. First person mode as a gun. That's not how flying works. That's my only means of transportation leaving the planet. Take off. Really take off. Holes in the map. Holes in my graphics card. Whole lot of nothing from down here. Textures bugging out. Animals bugging
I'm gonna have to censor some of the things, yeah.
Animals breakdancing. Look at these busy hands.
Oh, look at him moving
And a
around.
couple of unrequested ejector seats.
Euclid Galaxy.
Okay, that's a lot of stuff. I get the picture. No wait, poor graphics rendering. Some can't even start the game. Frame rate issues, constant crashes. Major publications are having trouble playing the game on their machines. Even the best 1080 Ti's are stuttering. Alt-tabbing? That's a guaranteed crash. Desktop notifications? That's a crash. Playing the game?
Really?
That's
Anything's a crash?
Changing options in the game without restarting?
Oh,
Get
that's
this. And if you got
bad.
the pre-order version with the bonus spaceship,
That's so
you might have a
bad.
problem. Your special ship already comes with a hyperdrive inside it. Great, right? No, because you have to craft it in order to finish the tutorial missions. And if you haven't finished the tutorial missions, you can't leave the star system. So whoops, until they patch it, you're stranded.
That's why I give my kids No Man's Sky.
She's gonna do the fall. She's gonna do the It's different this time. I thought it was going to be, dude. I thought it was gonna be the same as the last one.
Ah, my ship's in bits. Okay, thank you.
Just a quick note about
Exploded.
how high expectations were for this game, and just how many people bought it on release, myself included. Over 750,000 purchases on Steam at launch. It's the single best-selling game on the PlayStation Store that month.
Oh,
And a
really?
large proportion of people who bought it in the hopes of playing with their friends, well, you're in for a surprise. This one is a literal game changer.
Is it even possible to meet up with your friends in No Man's Sky? The answer is absolutely yes, it's possible.
On multiple occasions, Sean said
are
it
you
was
not able to?
definitely in the game.
Will you be able to play with your friends?
Yeah.
Oh, what was that was a weird yeah, man. Your yeah was a little strange, not gonna lie.
Will you be able to play with your friends?
Yeah.
Can you run into other people, other players on the game?
Yes.
But then just before the release, Sean posted this cryptic tweet.
To be super clear, No Man's Sky is not a multiplayer game. Please don't go in looking for that experience.
Oh, what? So there's no multiplayer function?
Well, he didn't really
But
clarify
then
that
the
well
next line
enough.
contradicts that.
Because the chances of two players ever crossing paths in a universe this big is pretty much zero.
Oh, so it is multiplayer. You just have to
But
overcome this finding each other.
You have to look for each other.
Telling me there's a chance.
Yeah! Right? No, it's more confusing than that.
What?
Because the box doesn't mention online play, just network features. And the collector's edition had its online play icon stickered over. So customers are going, which one is it, Sean? Just tell us if it has multiplayer or it doesn't have multiplayer. Sean wouldn't give any answers. But after hundreds of thousands of purchases, people soon took it upon themselves to find out. Despite the claims that it would be so improbable,
Chances that are incredibly rare, just because of the size and vulnerability.
on the very first day, two people noticed they were only 4 star systems from one another, and they
Okay.
met up on the same planet in a live stream. Oh dear.
A black pillar.
Okay, now they're trying to find each other.
Exactly lined up. If you go look at my stream, we're looking at the exact same area right now. If you don't move.
Yep, that's the same spot. And they can't see each other.
I'm alone!
That settles it. It's not multiplayer because it's so big. It's not multiplayer because it's just not fucking multiplayer. And this leads to
So
quite a
we
revolt.
were practically lied to, is what actually happened is that we were lied to. Okay. Hi, Pinky. The dog is live when I wake up. Hi, Pinky. I love you, Pinky.
What did Sean have to say about all this?
So amazing, 2 people found each other on the first day.
That has blown my mind.
But they didn't actually find each other.
We see other players in game.
Wow, so many of you playing.
Yeah, Sean. But what?
Truly amazing. My mind is blown.
Wait,
So
that's
what's the
so
game actually
accurate.
like then?
Is it any good? That is a difficult thing to say.
Well, it certainly is stylish and pretty, and there are a lot of places to explore. But that doesn't mean there's much to find. In fact, the game boils down to a very simple loop. Hold down the trigger to pick up resources, deal with a full inventory, get an upgrade, leave the planet, go to another planet. Hold down the trigger, deal with a full inventory, get an upgrade, leave the planet, go to another
so
planet. Hold down the
boring.
trigger, deal with a full inventory,
No.
leave the planet, go to another planet, deal with a full inventory, get an upgrade, leave the planet, go to another planet. That's it. $60,
That's so-
ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, that's sad.
Refuel your multi-tool, refuel your life support, refuel a separate part of your multi-tool that shoots
I hate
bullets
that.
instead of the mining beam, refuel your launch thrusters. It's busy work that makes
Trick,
it look
deceived,
like you have
bamboozled,
something
all of
to
the
do.
above.
It's not real.
How dare you?
What followed was one of the
That
most
seems like
dramatic
a
crashes in player numbers
very
in
boring
gaming
game.
history. Sales in the UK fell by 81% in the second week.
Damn.
Concurrent players on Steam dropped from 212,000 in August to just over 2,000 by September and fewer than 1,000 by October.
And what followed that was perhaps the biggest pylon in gaming history. Reviewers on YouTube panned
That's
the
why
game.
it's always good to just not lie about what you're offering to people, and just not, if you know you are, I hate saying it, but if you are a smaller group of people and you're trying to work on a big project, you need to do as much as you are capable of doing. You know, I'm not saying people shouldn't dream big, because I do think people should dream big. But I think that there has to be it has to be realistic while also dreaming big at the same time.
You done fucked it up! I had no hype, and I can tell you that, even without that disappointment, this game is hot.
Hello, saw you from YouTube. Really glad I caught you on Twitch. Such a pretty avatar. You are so sweet. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Soul. And hi, Acty. Yeah, this
Garbage.
Yeah, false
coined
promises,
Sean
not
Murray?
good.
Numerous
Not
times
good.
within the first 2 hours of the game, I kept saying, "This is it. Fuck this shit."
Reviewers in the media were almost as harsh.
This shit.
Devastating realization that most of the crafting, combat, and other activities you do on and between those planets ranges between bemusing and outright bad.
The criticism was deafening. And a lot of it really funny and creative. Krobycat made a video that captured the sentiment of that day, and if you haven't seen it yet, you're missing out.
So people are furious. The game is boring, and soon people discover that complaining about the game is actually more fun than playing it.
Wait, I'm now 3.5 hours into the tutorial, pretty much.
So they started complaining about it like they were grinding for an achievement.
This sucks.
fucking Minecraft in space.
Many people made compilations of all the unfulfilled
Very
promises.
kind.
One
Thank you
guy
for
on the
the money
subreddit
too.
compiled a big list of all the missing features. Front page. Got a defense for No Man's Sky? Enjoy your downvote.
Thank you for the follows,
In
CJ.
fact, the entire No Man's Sky subreddit was in such disarray it had to be locked.
Oh
So by
shit,
the end of the
that
month,
bad.
It was like scrolling through a bowl of Cheerios. By October, it was one of the worst rated games on Steam, with an aggregate of mostly negative
Oh
from
my
more than
God.
70,000 reviews. The outrage of the game was headline news for weeks on dozens of games news publications, and the price on eBay and Amazon and secondhand at GameStop was crashing through the floor.
That's so bad.
Please, no more. But the beatings had only just begun. The demo planet was data mined and found to be, of course, totally scripted and not randomly generated at all.
I've just got to pick one of these at random. If anything horrible goes wrong, just keep in mind that I've not been here before.
It wasn't some level that we built or something like that, even though I think it looks quite nice in places.
People watching this would wonder why you're
Toby,
showing
thank you for
this
the follow.
area again. Like, what's so special about demoing the game on this planet?
Oh, no, it's just a place that looks nice.
No. Bad Murray.
I could have ended the demo.
Oh, what's sad is that you can tell in his interviews, you could tell that he is like hiding things, or he's like, you could tell that he doesn't trust his own game in the interviews. And
Some, pre-scripted crazy thing that would happen. You know what I mean? The normal thing of like, and then a monster emerges from behind the mountains,
oh my god, it's a rhino!
People see what's going on with the game and feel
Big
lied
rhino
to.
alien.
This is false advertising, they say, and angry customers start scoping out a lawsuit. On September 28th, the ASA busts through the door and goes, "Yep, too many complaints. We're going to investigate." But then soon after, the ASA cleared them of any legal wrongdoing. Technically, the only thing they're interested in is what's on the back of the box, what's on the store page, and what's on the Steam page. So it's technically not false advertising. But of course, technically not illegal doesn't mean much to an angry audience.
Yeah.
October 28th, Hello Games Twitter
That's true.
is hacked. The hacker posts, "No Man's Sky was a mistake," and is shitting on the game in the replies. Turns out Sean didn't use two-factor authentication on his LinkedIn, and that's how they got in. They also sent discrediting emails to journalists, which they knew would rile
he
people.
is just getting absolutely wrecked, bro. He is getting demolished. This man. Oh shit. The thing is, like, I feel kind of bad because I feel like he didn't mean to disappoint people. Like, I mean, no one really means to disappoint people, but like, I feel like he just really had his brew was small. Like, I don't know,
people up if
I
public.
feel like he was trying.
Some people even show up to their offices to take photos
Yeah, I
and
think
knock
he
on the
wanted
door,
to. I think it was too
even at
big for
night
him.
and on the weekend. They posted empty pictures of the office, so naturally out of context, this started rumors that Hello Games simply took the money and ran. This in addition to numerous bomb and death threats during that period.
Jeez.
Those ones Sean did have to take seriously.
Regular intervention from police and Scotland Yard and things like that.
And while Sony didn't quite throw them under the bus, it was more like a gentle push under a minivan when Sony president Shohei Yoshida admitted that Hello Games did not have a great PR strategy for No Man's Sky.
Oh shit.
The press took the ball with that one and ran. But despite all of this, all of the negative press, they were actually nominated for a couple of awards.
Oh.
But by this point, Murray and the other members of Hello Games were so downtrodden and so sure they weren't going to win that they opted to go elsewhere for dinner.
And the Innovation Award goes to No Man's Sky.
Oh, they actually won too. That's awkward. I think he's genuinely passionate about the game, but unfortunately he overpromised. Yes, I think that's it. Yes, yes. Oh, that's so sad.
This lovely trophy going once.
Whoops.
Oh, apparently we won an award. Apparently we won an award. You need to watch more. Oh, I'm watching the video. I'm reacting to it.
I'm going to accept this on the behalf of Hello Games. and congratulations to them. And I'm going to walk off stage like I planned that whole thing.
By this point, you've got to feel just a little bit sorry for them.
I do feel sorry for them.
And then what followed that was the final straw for many. No particular incident, but a lack of incidents. Silence. Over 3 months of not a damn word from No Man's Sky. Where are they? Where is my refund? Where is Murray? Shouted into the void. The game was over. And it was dead.
Oh,
The year is 2000 AD.
2000
Sean has
AD.
just graduated from university and is headed into the big wide world. He rises up the ranks at a number of studios, eventually working as a technical lead for Black and technical director for Burnout 3. When Burnout's developer is bought by EA, he is in his late 20s. And he and 3 of his buddies decide to leave and start their own studio.
Oh, nice.
Hello Games. This was a risky venture.
Oh, this is
so
going
we've
way
done
back.
This incredibly foolish thing of like quitting our jobs, and then we had to sit down and try and decide what the game was going to be.
Together they create their first title, Joe Danger.
It's just repeating what
They
happened.
work on this game day and night. In fact, even once they were arrested in their own office because the police thought they were there to rob the place, because who would be working at 11 PM on a Sunday night? But they had to work that hard. Like any startup, it was a huge financial and professional risk. They had no income. They were working in a tiny room above an old tile shop, living off savings. And to keep the project running, Sean even sold his house.
So we made a really tough and
He
probably
sold his
at the time
house?
seemed really foolish decision. It's kind of almost embarrassing for me to talk about. I sold my house and just basically went all in and funded what we were doing, which is not something I
you
would
definitely
recommend
can't say he's
anyone
not
else.
passionate. You
But by
can't
June
say
8th,
that.
2010, they had done it.
100%
the game
passionate.
was good. And they could breathe a sigh of relief because on the very first day it hit the PlayStation Store, they made their money back. 2 years later, Joe Danger 2 was released. It was not the commercial success they had hoped for, and they didn't want to just keep pumping out
Very
sequels.
dedicated.
That was a trap big players in the industry had fallen into. In his spare time, Sean started working on a prototype for a procedurally generated game. They took another gamble and scrambled to get a trailer out in time to present at VGX 2013. So the project is official now, and the pressure is on. Around this time, Sean is also looking to start a family. Concurrent to
He's
all
got
this
a lot
development,
going on.
He would go on to have 3 kids.
Oh,
So
the
weight of
babies.
responsibility is really piling on.
Oh, so he's tired not just from working on this game, but he's tired because he has kids, and you know having kids can be tiring.
But their hard work will pay off,
Duh.
as they're finally going to have a chance for some R&R around Christmas.
They woke up to find their homes flooded, their cars submerged, and their plans for Christmas Day very much ruined.
Bad news. Rain. Rain and flooding in the south of England.
That
right
is-
around the Hello Games office. They are completely inundated and they return from their holidays to find laptops floating around at waist height. But some good news. They hadn't lost any data. So they pull together. Soldier
Man,
on.
this guy is getting shit on like left and right by the world.
Development continues. So there they are, working in a damp office, and then ding dong. Ooh, who's at the door? It's Danish mathematician Dr. Johan Gerlis. He's seen the game, and he says, "They are using my super formula," in perfect English, and there is a potential for a lawsuit. Sean says they didn't, and he can prove it.
Okay,
so
Mr.
they have
Krabs.
a meeting, and the claim is eventually dropped. Lawsuit evaded. So back to work, guys. Ding dong. It's Sky Television. They've seen the game.
You are infringing on our Sky trademark.
They said in perfect text-to-speech, they had succeeded in getting Microsoft to change SkyDrive to OneDrive, and they were about to give gamers No Man's 1 under threat of lawsuit. But this lawsuit didn't just go away. The threat loomed over them for the next 3 years, right up until the month before release. So they get back to work.
I think I would lose my hair if I was working on this. I think if I was him, I would simply just, yeah.
It's Sony, with some good news for once.
Out of stress.
We like a game,
straight
kid.
up.
We want to feature it front and center.
Bonds by it.
Make
Bonds
you a
by
big
it.
star. This could mean millions of dollars in additional revenue.
Boo Aku,
That's it.
thank you for the follow.
But along with it, a lot of press for this game would need to be done. Being a small team, they didn't have anyone for PR. They had their designers, they had their developers, and that was about it. So it's up to Murray. Sean's in his early 30s now. Not super young, but relatively young, and inexperienced for this type of media circuit. This deal with Sony put extra pressure
You're making me bod now.
It set deadlines. It's not that it's Sony's fault, but they're locked in now with much less flexibility. So when May rolls around, and they have no option but to delay, even if they wanted to ask for an extra 6 to 12 months of development, which they really need, it's probably too much to ask for. So they extend from late June to August. Only 6 weeks.
I think what's different for me from the one that we just watched, we watched like fall of 76, is that I don't have a lot of sympathy for like a really big company who has all of the resources and just chooses to be lazy with their games. You know, like if you have all the money in the world, you're like a big company, you have all the time, you have all the money, you have everything, but you decide to just like make your game unplayable, then that's I'm not gonna feel bad for the company, you know? Whereas here, it's a guy who's really passionate, clearly wants to make a good game, but doesn't have the resources as much because he's he's not a huge company, smaller dude, and then also has all this shit thrown at him.
Here, you can predict what's going to happen to multiplayer
Very unfortunate.
and a bunch of other promised features. So here's how the hype happened. Scope of game, time. And here's the line which shows the reality of
Yeah, I feel
development.
bad for people who worked on
Progress
it.
is
Yes,
steady
not the company,
and
but
ends
yes,
in
the
August
devs I love.
2016. Now
Devs
here is the
usually have
line of
passion.
player expectations. It should start out here and follow along the purple. But the overhyping trailer comes out and puts us way up here. In this trailer, it features a bunch of things that Hello Games thinks they're capable of having in the game by 2016. That's the first big mistake. Then it's announced for PlayStation and it costs $60 and there's a collector's edition. Second, even bigger mistake.
Oh no.
That puts us all the way up here. And I think this is the main problem, because price tags set expectations. For a $60 game, this was seriously barren and disappointing. Now, if they had put it out for $20 as an
that is true. If I see a game that's $60, I'm thinking that better be a really good game. $4, thank you for the follow. Like, if I don't know what the pricing is going to be for GTA 6 when it comes out, but like, you know, I'm expecting it to be high on the higher side, you know, and that's because
indie game or an alpha, no problem. But when they gave it the AAA treatment, people rightfully aligned their expectations with other games in that category. That is the main reason customers' expectations were so skewed. Then Murray went to interviews, exacerbating the problem. Every time he mentioned a feature in the game, even in passing, fans set their expectations to AAA heights for that feature.
Oh yeah, you need a better PR.
Some people think the interviews are the main problem. In my humble opinion, not so much.
Okay.
Most people never saw these interviews.
I didn't see it.
It's not that rickety 12-foot ladder Sean's standing on that's the main problem. It's the 900-foot building he's perched it on in the first place. So the obvious solution here would be an official statement. Hey guys, look, don't expect a 10 out of 10. Expect more of a 5 out of 10. No, the publisher just sank an enormous investment of marketing and opportunity into the game.
What's wrong with you?
And that would be a huge middle finger to them. The publisher isn't going to make you hype the shit out of your game, but you can't talk it down either. So,
yeah.
he's kind of
You
stuck
can't
up
be
there.
like, oh yeah,
In
it's
some ways,
shit
during the
too.
interview, he tries to tempt.
No one's gonna buy it if you say it's shitty, but then people are gonna be pissed if you say it's super good and it turns out to be shitty. So what do you do? I don't
their
know.
expectations, but it's limited.
Can you build a space station?
No.
But let's not gloss over the interviews. Sean is a technical guy. He's a developer. He's also the introverted type. And the big lights and the stuff on camera does not come naturally to him.
Is it super nerve-wracking to talk on stage at E3?
Yes. Yes, definitely. I personally find going on stage at E3 like the hardest thing I've ever done. That's something that I would have had in a nightmare before. You know what I mean? It's
literally
that
the hardest thing you've ever done?
Yeah.
Still, he stepped up and took interviews for his
He
game.
said that like, that's not like, why is that like the hardest thing you ever done? Public speaking is so scary. It's so scary, especially in front of like all of those people, and it's E3 and it's your own game. That's terrifying.
2016. And the main thing people wanted to hear about were the features.
Can you have more than...
So every planet, will there be wormholes?
At what point...
Do you get points or anything?
From these interviews, people took Sean to be a liar, a Peter Molyneux or a chess club member out to sell his game at whatever reputational cost. But I think the truth is more complicated than that. Sean and the team are indie developers working on a new IP. Their project and plans are constantly in flux. They have no idea how large chunks of the game are going to look, especially not a couple of years out from release. And crucially, Sean doesn't understand that something mentioned in 2013, even said in passing, is going to be seen as a promise in the year 2016, even if by then you've decided to cut it from the game. For example, orbiting around the sun.
Today has turned it out because the planet has actually rotated on its axis.
This originally was in the game, but it caused the player too much confusion. It kept being reported as a bug in the beta, as people left the planet and then returned to find everything different. But nonetheless, into the line compilation it goes. So while they're still essentially formulating the game, the media all want a piece of Sean and to report on features first. Conversely, Sean thinks the
all those cameras in your face too.
might help him to temper down things by emphasizing that Hello Games is an indie studio. But that is not how journalism is done. This is how journalism is done.
I think it was intelligent of him to try that, though. I think it was intelligent of him to try and be like, hey, it's indie, just to try to get people's expectations to lower a bit. Like, you know, I think it was somewhat of a smart idea. That it really help him a whole lot? No, but, you know.
Can you customize the...
I don't know. If someone tells me, oh yeah, like it's an indie game, I know that personally I'm not going to expect it to be like insane, you know?
Look of your character?
Sort of.
Full customization confirmed in No Man's Sky.
Happy, thank you for the follow.
Periodic table to create atmospheric particles that would diffract light at just the right wavelength. Who the
fuck told you? The press
It
kind of
kind of
operates
looks like a
downstream from the
mixture of Liam Hemsworth and Chris Hemsworth in some of these images.
because things are click-driven as to what stories you get served and things like that. But a rumor would surface from Reddit straight to the front page.
There's all this hype, and the project has increased in scope dramatically and keeps increasing as the months go by until a point. They are close to the deadline and have to delay, and the reality of what they can achieve in the little time remaining is staring them in the face. They know they're not going to be putting out a finished game. They're worried. There's nothing more they can do.
I feel bad for devs.
And the fear that they will disappoint the audience is growing on Sean and the team.
I worry about, like, disappointing people.
Upon release, all of these clips are seen as proof that Sean is a liar. And what doesn't help is his body language.
I don't think he's a liar. I think he's a people pleaser. And I don't mean that in like a, you know, what I mean by that, I shouldn't say the word people pleaser, but I think he's like I think he wants people to be happy, so he gets nervous when there's cameras on him. He has cameras on him asking him questions, so he feels pressure, so naturally he's like, oh yeah, like, Yeah, we have that in the game, but just because he's nervous, like he wants to please the people. I feel like people pleasing has this negative connotation. I'm not trying to say that. I'm saying I genuinely think he's trying to please, and so he's fabricating a little bit. But I don't think he.
Kind of the body language of someone who was
I think
lying.
he's just nervous.
And this is why I mentioned he's an introvert.
Yeah, he's not media trained.
Remember,
yeah.
he's a technical lead.
Tell
Actually,
them what
a
I want to
really
hear
good
and
one,
leave me alone. Yes.
but not a salesman. Cut him just a little bit of slack.
Thank you for wording what I'm trying to say correctly. Yeah, all of the pressure is on him, so it makes sense. Tell them what they want to hear and they will leave me alone. That's practically what I'm trying to say. Thank you. Thank you.
This is simply how he talks. Here are some innocuous questions, and he answers them honestly.
And the media
producers
trained.
on
Yeah.
No Man's Sky.
Yeah, I guess I'm a developer on it. I suppose the creator or something like that.
You can tell with his body language too. He looks uncomfortable. Anytime someone kind of has like their hand behind their back like that, they're really nervous. You know what? Thank you for subscribing for 2 months. Thank you for resubscribing for 2 months.
I really like making games.
Lying under pressure is still lying. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah.
Talking about making
I think you did a good job,
even
Sean,
though,
don't worry.
even though, you know, you guys are very nice.
Mate, seriously.
Same body language.
Yeah,
And
you are
Jesus
right
Christ,
there.
They have him up on stage and in front of cameras and bright lights and on the goddamn Colbert Report. Try keeping your nerve on that. Nonetheless, free of that context, the clips have him cemented in the community as a liar. So the graph plays out right to release. And that graph, it's actually
Very
a track.
high pressure.
And that track is what the hype train runs on. So it comes barreling up the hill. Instead of neatly pulling into the station, it comes crashing right through the roof. The disaster unfolds. They are absolutely shit on. So there were Sean and Hello Games, surrounded by the rubble of their former reputation. Punished Sean was at his lowest point, hated by the majority
go to
of
the
the
eye
gaming
patch.
community, but they were still alive, and they had made tens of millions of dollars. They were left with two choices. Take the money, start a new project, and be a pariah, a cautionary tale of the industry and hated by the gaming community forever. Or pick themselves up, get back to work, and with potentially no profit motive, finish the game.
It allowed me to do something that I've always done in difficult times, whether it was crappy bosses that I've dealt with before or crappy situations at school growing up.
He seems
got
more
my
confident
head
right
down,
now.
I sat in front of a computer and I made games, which is what I enjoy.
They picked number 2.
Good. Good.
So, here's
Thank
the
you
plan.
again, Peanut. I
The
love
team is
you.
assigned to fixing bugs and the most obvious problems. Go. Sean tells the team to stop reading all the overwhelmingly negative feedback on the game, and he reroutes all of it to his personal devices. Emails, forum posts, Google News alerts, player feedback, it's all going directly
I
to him now.
respect this.
Then he starts breaking that down into data sets. People who haven't bought the game, people who have bought it and played it for 100 hours, people who have returned it, etc. Then he starts compiling those complaints into usable data, focusing on the people with the most sincere
I'm rooting
experience
for
of the
you,
game.
son.
Then we start making a big laundry list of all the things that need adding and prioritizing. First thing to fix is that full inventory. Then community mod support. Then a third thing, etc., etc. This is going to take an enormous amount of work to pull off, and they're not going to make the same mistake twice. So they would need to sharply adjust their PR strategy. Anything they said right now, an admission of guilt,
I'm so proud of him for doing this.
would be met with criticism.
Oh my god.
Denial,
Logan Paul jump scare. Oh my god.
it's not that bad, would be met with criticism. Corporate speak. Well, we endeavored to make the best game we could, and we are proud of what we have, would be met with criticism. Half of the problems have been caused by speaking too much. So they were going to do a complete 180. Instead of adding more fuel to the fire, instead of accidentally promising fixes that might also not be delivered, they wouldn't speak to the press again.
Female traits you're talking
Proud of
about.
this
I'd
is
say
so
that's a
good.
generalisation, but you
Yeah, roll it up.
They were going to speak to the community directly from now on. So they told the audience they were working on it and went completely silent.
Oh, good job.
1 day passed. No word. 2 days. A week. Have you heard from Hello Games? They just had this disastrous release. Nope, haven't seen them. I hope they're working on the game. 2 weeks. Dude, are you working on this thing? Just ignore them, just work. 3 weeks. Okay, what the fuck is going on?
WTF, it's locked.
You're not allowed to come in. You're not
They
allowed.
took the fucking money and ran,
You
didn't they?
shall not pass.
Don't say anything, it's not going to help. 2 months. 3 months.
You shall not pass!
By now, most people were convinced that the game was abandoned. They had made their money. It's all over.
Sliced Reject BB, thank you so much for the 34 months. I loves you. Thank you for the 36 months. Resubscribing. I adore you. You are a sweet being. Appreciate you, love.
Then, after over 100 days of absolute silence,
Knock knock, nobody's home.
a tweet. Foundation. The first
Somebody knocks
big
on my
hack.
door and I'm like, leave, bitch. You're not welcome here. You gotta go. Goodbye. Leave before I throw liquid ass at you.
It is me.
I don't like when people show up at my door, honestly.
No, go away.
Better have a
Sean,
good
I'm
reason to
mad
show
at
up at
you.
my door.
It has been too long.
Good one.
But I bring you gifts. This accent sucks. It brought base building, new game modes, farming, camps, and freighters, as well as a lot of bug fixes.
You guys also don't like when people come to your door. Thank God, it's not just me. Liquid ass. I don't actually own liquid ass, but for some reason I want to get it, and in case someone does some shit, I want to exert my, self-defense with liquid ass. I think it'd be so funny. I think it'd be so funny.
I have to try harder than that, Sean, to win my love back.
Oh.
It still fell well shy of the promised game. Too little, too late. So Sean left, returned to his team, and got back to work. A few more months went by, and then another tweet. Pathfinder.
What do we have here?
Pathfinder.
Fuck? Oh, it's you, Sean. I bring you online base sharing, own multiple starships, starship specialization, multi-tool specialization and classes, permadeath modes, vehicles
he's
you can
adding a
drive around
lot.
in,
He has
and
a
create racetracks
lot.
for them too with time trials.
There's
Look at this.
There's a lot happening.
Okay, that's pretty good, but I'm still mad, and there's still a ton promised that isn't in the game yet. So Sean went away once more. A few more months went by. Knock, knock. Oh, it's you, Sean. What is it now? I bring you...
Why is he looking through the
an
window
overhaul
like
to the
this?
Storyline. New worlds, crashed freighters,
Oh my
space combat,
God, he
terrain
actually
editor,
added all of
ports, procedural mission system, interstellar trading,
Wow.
and joint exploration. By now, people were really starting to warm to No Man's Sky again, and to Hello Games.
The game has in many ways exceeded what was promised.
It's a substantially better game now.
No Man's Sky is back, baby!
People saw this was an honest
Really?
effort to
Let's
fix the
go!
game, and the number of employees working on it was growing, from a studio of 15 to 25. Sean Murray and Hello Games social media also started becoming more active and engaging with the audience. The subreddit was flourishing once more. The price of the game
Thank you for the
secondhand
hype train,
on
cuties.
Amazon,
Thank
eBay,
you
and
so
GameStop
much.
was going up.
Thank you,
Then a few
General
more
Hell.
months
Word
went by.
hog. Thanks, my love. Spice
Next,
Project.
a really big patch.
Oh my god.
This is amazing. This is so good. I'm so proud of Sean and I know I say Sean, but I'm proud of all of the other developers and all the other people that worked on it too, because that's crazy. This is what I call the Sonic way. All right, this is the Sonic way.
To be super clear,
You guys know why.
No Man's Sky is not fuck that. Here's the full and proper multiplayer experience. Ringed planets, third-person mode, character customization,
This is wholesome.
a galactic atlas on an external website for the community, vast overhauls to base building and crafting and resources, and it also brought the game to Xbox. In fact, with the
Wow.
release of Next in July 2018, No Man's Sky was the 6th top-selling console game for the month. It climbed its way back into Steam's top 10.
Oh, I'm
It reached
so
nearly
proud.
100,000 concurrent players. It brought another $24 million across all platforms. Their Steam rating went from mixed to very positive. People were getting back on board in a big way, but they weren't done yet. Better creatures, weird underwater shit, discoveries in bases and environments and equipment, and it keeps going. New biomes, more diversity, archaeology, more things to discover. By now, Sean and the gaming inspector, personification of the gaming community, had literally patched things up and were making out on the couch.
Yo.
Which was when he released his biggest patch to date.
Oh.
Free VR support. Not a whole other game you have to pay for, like some titles. Overhauls to NPCs, tech trees, base building, streamlined multiplayer, ride animals around. All sorts of stuff that was never promised in the first place. And they're still adding more stuff.
And they're still adding?
Someone at Valve, who was a fan of the game, said to me, what you do now is more important than what you say. There's only one thing that's credible, and that's your actions.
Dude, he looks so much more confident while talking on stage too. Like, this is the biggest. Oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever, man. I love seeing shit like this. Let's just continue it. Let's continue it. And then I'll talk.
There's only one thing that's credible, and that's your actions.
Oh my god.
In fact, I was so slow to get this video out that they put out another patch the other day. With ship salvaging, ship upgrading, more advanced terrain editing, first-person exercise,
This is a wholesome
improved
story.
VR, improved base building and inventory management, and quality of life stuff. It goes
My dude was a whole, like,
Is it
anime
perfect?
protagonist. Yeah, yeah. Whole
Technically,
arc.
there are still things on this spreadsheet missing. But come on now, we're starting to nitpick. Especially when you compare them to relationships with other games companies. They could have gone the route of Fallout 76. Paywall mods with Fallout First, charging a monthly fee, a downward spiral more and more into pay-to-win scraps released without QA testing. But instead, they never added pay-to-win. They never added microtransactions or paid DLC. They never made VR as a second game. They didn't give up on the game or scale their resources back to do it. They didn't come out and call all gamers entitled. They didn't add loot boxes. They didn't start work on the next big project or sequel. They didn't do much
They
of
did the right
anything
thing.
except get back to work. And just like that, the game once panned by critics now had awards rolling in.
Your developed star 2019, No Man's Sky, Sean Murray. No Man's Sky next.
Nice. Oh, so good.
No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky's next.
No Man's Sky.
Oh.
And to cap it all off, the subreddit No Man's Sky the Game even got together and pooled money for a GoFundMe to have a billboard installed near the Hello Games offices. It must have been a harrowing moment for Sean and the team. They took a huge risk to start a small studio. They clawed their way up to create one of the most notable games of the console generation. Disappointed pretty much everyone with the release, and took one of the biggest online beatings in video game history for it.
As a family, post-release, we
And then came
faced,
back.
some really difficult
Yeah, that's
challenges.
amazing.
Everything
We get
that you
claps.
can
Let's get some
imagine from,
claps,
like, the
Chad.
worst of the
Yeah,
internet.
let's do it what King Dragonite did.
We hit.
Claps.
But then over the course
Clap,
of the
clap,
next
clap,
3
claps.
years, completely turned it around and came out the other side with a win. It's the underdog story. And after doing all of this
Oh,
research, I couldn't
yay.
help but come to the conclusion that they were the good guys. So what is the future for Hello Games? In 2017, they
Okay,
announced
now I
Hello.
want to talk about it. Dude. We're gonna keep watching it. I know there's more to it. There's a few minutes, whatever. But I want to talk about it now before they go into whatever next they're talking about. I love it. I think this is a great. I'm gonna get all like motivational speaky right now. Okay, just let me. All right. I love it whenever like someone has. It's gonna sound weird the first part saying it. I'm gonna reword this. Whenever someone has like a downfall and it's like the worst thing ever and it feels like it can only get worse. And like they don't give up and then they try to they're like, okay, they keep going, but they change things that are beneficial to help them. And it works. It is the most beautiful thing. I personally feel like it's beautiful, you know? Because not only he was like, all right, I've gone through this shit, this shit, this shit. Getting dragged through the ground, underdog story. Yes, Phoenix. Yes, Phoenix. Underdog story. Yeah, you get thrown through the mud. But the thing is too is like what I respect as well is that whenever you are trying to keep going and not give up, you can't keep going doing the same thing you're already doing. You have to add changes. And that's why he succeeded, you know? There's a lot of times when people, like, they crash down and they're like, all right, well, I'm going to continue doing the exact same thing that I've been doing and not changing anything. And it doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. You know, you have to continue with your motivation, but you also have to make the changes. And they said, oh, he stopped listening to critics. And he instead listened to the community, which was a change that he made that was actually pretty big, in my opinion. You know, like he did his research. So that's my advice to anyone on anything, whether, you know, you're a VTuber, whether you're doing stuff like that, is to like, if something's not working, you know, you figure it out. Persistence, but also making the changes that are necessary. Non-Australians are the only one that have pronounced Dagonaut correctly. Yeah, but pretty much, I love stories like that. I think it's so good. It's so good. It's a Sonic story where, like, you know, basically Sonic changed their character. Good. It's the Keanu Reeves story. Like, shit like that, it hits. It's wholesome, and I like that.
Labs, a support program focused on original titles and games using procedural generation.
Wonderful.
Two of the team also branched off to work on a small title called The Last Campfire. But for the foreseeable future, they're just working on No Man's Sky. Alright, I didn't want to finish the video on like a big sappy note. So, this is the end of the story.
I liked the sappy
but there's
note.
still another few minutes. Don't leave. It's not an ad.
Okay, I'm not gonna leave.
In 2015, when the hype was at its peak, someone wrote a Sean Murray erotic fan fiction. And, naturally, I assumed that you lot would want to see it.
God,
so, here it is. My evening interview at Hello Games. I arrived at the Hello Games office in the early evening as the sun was approaching the horizon. Taking a deep breath, I nervously pressed the doorbell. The door opened, and Sean poked his expressive face out to greet me. "Hey you," he exclaimed in his adorable British-Australian accent. "I'm so happy you could make it and spend the evening with us." "I was so happy when I heard you agreed to let me come in for an interview," I
Every
said.
time I hear a British person, I like bust a nut.
"Oh yeah, the interview."
Or an Australian, or like
He
anyone with a
replied
different
his
accent.
usual brilliant humor. I laughed. You're so funny, Sean.
I've got
Let me show
perpetual
you my
bust
office.
of nutting.
I
Sorry,
have
I'm
a
so sorry.
surprise
I'm so
for
sorry.
you.
I'm
I laughed.
talking over.
You're so funny, Sean. "Let me show you my office." "I have a surprise for you," Sean said. He led me to the room where we sat down on a soft vinyl couch. "So let me show you the surprise,"
Not the couch!
he said softly. "It's the newest build of the game. We just added some new features." He booted up the game on a PS4 in his office. I stared at his face. I like your beard. It's sexy," I pretended to say to him in my head to myself. I had a secret crush on him. There was something about his humble demeanor and feeble yet handsome bone structure that was so alluring. "So here's the game," he said eagerly. It opened on an alien world just calling out to be explored. I began to sweat. Here it finally was, in front of me in all of its glory, and it was being played by Sean in front of me in all of his glory. I nervously spoke. "Could I try playing?" I said. "Oh, I suppose, of course," he said, chuckling. But another few minutes passed without him handing me the controls. "Sean," I said more confidently. I put my hands on his hands as he gripped the controller. He looked me straight in the eyes. I stared deep into his beautiful, glistening eyes, utterly transfixed.
Get a room, you two.
"Sure," he said. He let go of the PlayStation controller, still sweaty from his firm grip.
Ew, please.
"But I have another surprise to show you." He stood up.
That's the
Mike.
Redacted.
He muttered. Yes, please, I said, blushing as red blushing as red as the treetops. But I have another surprise to show you. He stood up. Mike.
Redacted.
He muttered. Yes, please, I said, blushing as red as the treetops of Aurea 5. He grabbed my shoulders, guiding me confidently towards the coffee table, like he confidently guides the Hello Games team towards the game's release. The one true Sean Murray, not that baby-faced loser asshole poser from NCIS. Made sweet, sweet love to me. I wasn't sure what I was more excited about. Finally.
Redacted.
Sean Murray, all finally playing No Man's Sky. After exploring the planet's surface, I entered my spaceship and took off. Just as I left the atmosphere and burst into the breathtaking expanse of space.
Redacted.
It was an out-of-world experience. Oculus Rift support, he uttered sensually. As I turned, I saw Sean's avatar standing before me in a beautiful, procedurally generated spacesuit. Like what you see, he said. It's time, everybody, he shouted. I heard footsteps slowly enter from the cramped office. I soon saw many spacesuits appear before me in-game. But as they took off their helmets, I realized that they were all the same Sean Murray avatar. I was about to be
redacted
by a group of Sean Murrays, but they all had one difference. The
redacted.
Each piece
redacted
was different. There were wide ones, thin ones, long ones, curved ones. It was magical.
Multiple different. I know what they're. I know what you're saying.
Redacted.
From somewhere in the room, I heard Sean whisper, "Every
redacted
procedural." Also, I did a thing on the second channel. Please do check it out. I thought it was quite good. I love the videos on the second channel. It's some erotic fanfiction over there. So why not check it out? And that's it. Sorry it took so long.